Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is September 25th, 2016. My name's Eric Peterson. The only one joining me today, Mr. Daniel. What? Curtis.
And of course, the best one.
What?
Wait.
What?
Wait.
What?
What?
You, sir, would you like to do a jolly good show today? What?
It's lovely to be back, Eric Peterson. What?
It's been 3 weeks. This is the longest break we've had since we brought you guys on.
I know, it's been painful.
It's been an exciting couple weeks, though. We have an excuse for why we didn't have a show on the 11th. I got to take a ride in an ambulance.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, let me tell you about that. Holy hell.
Are you okay?
I think so. I mean, the doctor said I'm not going to die.
Well, that's good. That's always nice.
Yeah. So, no, we were getting ready to go to the Final Fantasy Symphony on the 10th. Went out for dinner, and towards the end of dinner, felt like the entire world dropped out around me, and I got like this fuzzy, numb band that wrapped around my head and really loud ringing in my ears. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I got really confused. So I got up, apparently walked away from the table into the bathroom. I remember trying to send my friend a text that I think was supposed to say, "Come to the bathroom." But it was worse than any of the drunk texts I've sent you guys.
Wow, that's pretty bad, mate.
It was just gibberish, and I couldn't even hit send. So I stuffed my phone back in my pocket, walked back out, missed the table, and collapsed in the entryway to the restaurant. And I just remember looking at Christy and my friends and be like, something's wrong. Like, something is wrong. And internally, I'm like, well, this is it. This is how I go. But they called the ambulance, took me to the hospital. I have just very small recollections of the night after that. But turned out it was just super bad vertigo.
Or crack cocaine, one of the two.
I mean, I didn't disclose that. I mean, that was naturally the first
I'm glad
question.
you didn't die, Eric. It's nice to have you back.
Well, I appreciate that.
You seem just as dumb as before, so it hasn't addled your brain in any way.
Well, if it did addle my brain, it would be a benefit of the show because it'd get even dumber than it is. And I'm pretty sure we were at a point we didn't think we could get dumber.
Yeah, I know, but I think you picked the wrong day to get vertigo because you were going to the Final Fantasy Symphony.
Oh, and it was supposed to start in 20 minutes. I was so mad.
I'd be so annoyed with myself. But this will probably happen to me when Final Fantasy 7 comes out.
I mean, I understand your health is more important, but when you spend a couple $100 on tickets for something and you don't get to go...
Especially when it's Final Fantasy Symphony, because that would just be fits.
It was the absolute worst. It was not the tip of the nipples. It was like the base of the butthole.
Like inward nipples.
No, this is the base of the butthole. It's about as far away from the nipples as you can get.
Pretty sure the feet are further away, but okay.
Well, yeah, but the feet aren't as unpleasant as a butthole.
It depends how hairy they are.
Your butthole or your feet?
Well, both.
Are you a hobbit?
Yes.
Oh.
Speaking, did you not see that picture I sent you earlier this week?
I'm sure I did.
It's basically the graphic designer from work. He mocked us all up as Lord of the Rings characters. I am Frodo, so it's great.
I mean, it sounds like a really busy place to work.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. He's
That's...
gone on holiday. He doesn't care at the moment.
Oh, did he do this off work?
No.
Oh. We'll make sure that your boss doesn't listen to this.
I'm pretty sure he does. I'm sure I would have been sacked a long time ago if he did.
Yeah, Mr. Curtis, your personality just doesn't fit what we're looking for with this company.
How dare you, sir?
I'll sue you. What?
Don't you know this is America, goddammit?
Speaking of America, why did you see that text Jess sent me last night just out of the blue? Send me American Eric pics.
Yeah, that was odd.
Do you like waking up to that gallery?
I've seen them before, but those jean shorts are pretty special.
So apparently Jess and Tom aren't here. I figured that was implied
7 minutes in this week.
Well, I figured that was implied when I said the only one joining me.
Oh, Not a decent effort.
I mean, we're getting there.
We're getting there. Yes.
We immediately got sidetracked with
if you love Jess and Tom, just stop listening now.
So apparently one of her friends dressed up as America for Halloween and wanted to show her what a true American looks like. So I sent some pictures from that America party that we threw in college that we spent more on decorations than we did on booze.
It's pretty special, like.
Followed by a pair of jean shorts that I made by myself when I was feeling frisky.
Practically hot pants.
I mean, the pockets come down farther than the jeans. I'm pretty sure if I would have bent down at the wrong angle, everything would have fallen out.
I love the long white socks the best.
Oh, for my Oh, yeah. I mean, the only thing that's missing is a shotgun.
You look like you'd fit right in with those guys who ride the lawnmowers over ramps and stuff. Are they Canadians?
No, I don't know. Oh, man, those guys are great. I can't remember what their show is.
So stupid. They're just so good.
That's America right there.
So,
and then last week, we didn't have a show because everybody flaked out.
Yeah, I was out.
I was ready.
You should just talk to yourself. I've told you before. I'll be fine.
Surely there exists a video game podcast where it's just one person, like political talk radio, like Rush Limbaugh.
I bet that's gripping.
3 hours of talking to himself.
So I really like games, and games are great, and I love Driver. Driver is wonderful.
Driver. So this was Tom's only week. Tom was in Greece for the past week.
Oh, is that where he was? I told Crystal he was in Germany, so...
I mean, you
just went back and forth from Germany, Tom.
You got the G part right.
Yeah.
Germany.
Surely with Tom's vast wealth, he's bought most of Greece.
Well, he said he was on the island that wasn't bankrupt.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. But he was at a hotel that wasn't.
He could have bought everything.
Yeah, probably.
Well, actually, Tom's so rich he probably could afford everything in the other island as well.
Jess.
I renamed this Regenshire!
Jess was going to be here, but then she got an email last night that was something about volunteering for work. I loved
your response. Keyword voluntary. So really, Jess Clarkson, well, whatever her name is nowadays, Curly Nyan woman.
Munchier.
Curly Nyan Munchier, yes. Could be here, but she has decided she has better things to do.
So here comes the bus. Jess chose work over the podcast.
Well, voluntary work. So not work. Work that she has self-inflicted upon her person.
Yeah. Volunteering. She volunteered, which means you don't have to, but you can.
Well, technically though, Eric, this is voluntary work as well, but you make it feel like work.
Well, yeah. I mean, somebody's got to hold this thing together.
It's by the skin of its teeth most times, I think.
Well, I think if it were held together any more than that, it wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's face it, it's a lot better than it once was, where you used to record a show once every 3 months or so. If
that was not my fault.
It was your fault.
It wasn't.
You didn't unite the people.
It's hard enough uniting you guys being 8 hours ahead.
It's easy enough.
I sacrifice my Sunday mornings for this show.
Oh, diddums. I sacrifice my Sunday afternoons.
Oh, so you've already had a whole day to go out and do things.
Yeah, and what have I done? I sat and played on my PlayStation. So, yeah.
Gripping life, Daniel.
We love games.
Gripping.
This is the game podcast. The last time I tried. I did love games. There'd be not much point of being on the show now, would there?
Would there?
No, not really. Well, actually, Jess doesn't play games, so... There's the bus again.
We miss Jess. I don't even know when the last time she was on was. Because she wasn't on. She wasn't on for the Driver episode, which was so. It's been almost a month since Jess has been on.
I believe Jess has moved house as well, so she's in the market for a new stalker. If anybody's interested,
she did send out an Instagram thing on our Facebook group.
I believe it was Snapchat actually.
Well, she sent out. Oh yeah, you're right. It was Snapchat. So you can snap her your stalker pics. I sent her a stalker pic last night.
Oh God,
wasn't that one sweet?
It was. Yeah. You have an image ready for every situation, don't you?
Well, I took that one on the fly.
Oh, right. It's pretty good, though.
Imagine seeing that face outside your window.
I really don't want to. Last time I did, I woke in a cold sweat.
Hey, what are you doing in there? Mind if I jack it?
Just jacking it outside Jess's house.
Oh, is that a curling iron?
Is that truck on fire?
Oh, that's hot. Mind if I jack it? Oh.
So, yeah, Jess is looking for a new stalker. We're not sure exactly where she lives, but if you're a dedicated stalker, I'm sure you'll find her.
I mean, it's somewhere in Canada, so it can't be too hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, there's one town, right, and the west is just wilderness. The rest is wilderness.
Yeah, I mean, everybody lives within a stone's throw of the American border because it's where they wish they could be.
Oh, bless them.
Bless.
Oh, bless their cotton sockies.
Bless your cotton sockies.
Cotton jockeys.
Or cotton jockeys.
Cotton jockeys.
Like grape smugglers.
What the hell are grape smugglers, sir?
They're underwear that's so tight that it looks like you're smuggling some grapes when you wear them.
Oh, I have many pairs.
I mean, in my case, they're like watermelon smugglers, but...
Right, yeah. You should get that looked at.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I carry my nuts in a wheelbarrow.
Gotta drain my nutsack today.
Just toss them over my shoulder and crack on. Welcome back. Oh
I missed you, Dan.
I missed you too, Eric. I am glad you didn't die, though. That would have been horrible.
Well, I'm glad I didn't die, too, but I honestly 100% truly thought I was dying.
It does sound pretty scary.
Yeah. I mean, I was sitting there with my friend who was like, well, you know, it could be this, it could be that. I'm like, you're not helping the situation. And I'm going through the whole stroke test because my father-in-law had a stroke. So I'm like, well, I looked at her and I said, tell me if both sides of my face are smiling. And I was just waiting for her to go, nope. But she said, yeah. And then I did the whole raise your arms up because if you're having a stroke, one of your arms will go straight out instead of up. And everything was fine. But, you know, when you hit a certain age, you get hurt as a kid and you're like, oh, man, this sucks. You get hurt after a certain age, which is like maybe 25. Every time it's like, well, this is it.
Yeah, but like when you went flying off the electric unicycle, you only had yourself to blame.
No, I had the company to blame for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot the hell out of you.
Give me $1.
American way.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at me wrong, I can sue you.
Apparently.
Which is satirical. I don't want to confuse anybody with portraying America the wrong way. We're a lovely nation of very kind, accepting people.
Okay.
Dan?
Hello.
Should we rip apart Driver?
We should rip apart Driver.
I mean, we specifically waited to give Tom the chance to be here for it. Had we recorded last week, we were going to talk about another game we'll talk about today. But I wanted Tom to be here since he recommended this hot, flaming pile of shit.
I was honestly expecting Tom to be here to defend it, but he's
I was too.
Out of town doing something or other. So, yeah, but Driver is shit.
Driver. I looked at a lot of reviews because the last time I really hated a game was Excitebike 64, which apparently got phenomenal reviews.
Oh, yeah, I remember this conversation. You really did hate it, and it had loads of review outlets were giving it like 8s and 9s, right? And stuff
yeah. They're like, this game is near perfection. I'm like, this game is a hot, flaming diarrhea turd.
This is the thing. It's subjective, isn't it? From the times. But in my opinion, Driver was bad to start with. What?
In my opinion, Driver.
You can't say it any other way.
No, you have to say Driver.
I hope to bring out a new one sometime, so whoever listens to this podcast, they'll see it in the shops and immediately think that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've talked about this in the past. We have to, we know that we've had an impact on people's lives and their catchphrases. I hope that's the next one.
My favorite one is, I can't remember who it is. Sorry, I can't remember your name, but the guy who's teaching his girlfriend English using the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And worries me greatly that there's just going to be some girl wandering around going, "What?" And Craig's fake click.
Get it?
Get it? Jeeves. That's a new one, by the way.
If you want the full story on that, we have it on our Factory Sealed Unwrapped from this episode on Patreon.
We do.
It's quite dumb. It's what happens when we don't talk to each other for 3 weeks and then finally just get let loose.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Speaking of not the sidetrack from the river, Ellie, my daughter, is 2.5, has a Curious George tea set. And we were playing in her room the other day, and we were wrestling, and she went and got her teapot and teacups, and she's like, "Daddy, tea." So she was pouring tea, and I was just being really dumb when I would drink it, just making a bunch of noise. And figured I need to teach her how to properly drink tea. So I sent you guys a picture of me teaching her how to properly hold a teacup, and I got her to hold it and stick her pinky way up in the air and then say, quite, every time before she took a sip.
You can have a bad influence on that child.
I mean, it's so much fun. It's just things like that.
You've always said she's like a sponge, though, haven't you?
Oh, kids are fantastic. And for people who don't believe that their terrible kids are a result of the environment they've been brought up in, this is proof. Your kids are just little replicas of you and your environment and what you teach them.
So in about 16 years, when this podcast is on episode like 1380, your daughter might be on and just join us to start talking nonsense.
Oh, it'll happen.
I have no doubt, to be honest.
Anyway, back to the river.
Driver, you are the wheelman.
You were saying it's subjective to the times, and while I'm inclined to believe that, you and I grew up through this era of gaming, so we actually experienced these games in their time. And I remember playing Driver 2, but not Driver 1.
Driver.
And I think, had I played Driver in its day, I would have hated it.
I mean, going back to Crash Team Racing. That's a racing game on the PS1. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The River is also sort of a racing game, but also kind of a free roaming adventure. With, hands down, the single worst tutorial in the history of video games. It's like pulling teeth. It's horrible.
I really enjoy racing games, and I consider myself to be mildly good at them.
Yeah, very modest.
This was stupidly difficult. To the point where it just came down to pure blind dumb luck.
Well, did you notice you could actually watch a video of the tutorial?
I did not, because that was not made apparent.
Yeah, apparently if you go into the menu, you can watch a video. Like, it's not before the tutorial, so it's no use when you're doing the tutorial. Like, you can't view it back while doing the tutorial. You have to go back to the menu to view said video. Forget about it all, because there's so much to do. And go back into the game to do it.
Oh dear.
And but basically, if anybody hasn't played The River before, you drive your car around a parking lot, and it challenges you to do various different things like burnouts and 180s and going around the parking lot fast, and then just testing out your brakes and stuff. But it doesn't actually tell you how to do any of this. It just says crack on, and you have to do all of them within like 60 seconds. Otherwise, it fails and you start again. And it will not let you go anywhere else until you've done this. You can't skip it. You just have to go through it, do it over and over again. It must have took me, Eric, about 20 tries at least.
I was doing it for at least half an hour.
And I was just only sheer perseverance and wanting to play the game for the podcast kept me going with this.
And then, once you got out and played the first mission, you could have stopped the game and have experienced everything it had to offer.
It's literally every mission is the same.
100% of the game is the exact same mission.
It's basically get in car, drive, to location. Stop.
And sometimes drive yourself back.
Yes. And sometimes drive to avoid the cops.
Yeah, so every single mission is you're in this car. You need to get from here to there while keeping your felony count low and getting there in the right amount of time. That's it. That is the game. 40 missions of that.
It's tedious.
I made it to
I did
mission
2 missions and got sick.
I made it to mission 5.
Oh, impressive. I mean, and then you were just going, this is like, and you were saying all this because you played it before me, and then I finally played it, and I was like, it can't be that bad, surely. And I was playing it, and it was just, but I can't even for the time, I can't even see it being fun to play back then. I mean,
absolutely not.
I think the biggest thing it had going for it at the time was the ability to drive around like an open world city, which is kind of rare in PS1. Like GTA had it to an extent, but it wasn't until GTA 2 where you had that full kind of experience. GTA 3, sorry, where you had that full kind of city experience. Mm-hmm. Driver's a very limited form of that, I think.
Technically, it's very ambitious. The driving mechanics themselves were, I guess, for their day, pretty good. If you played the Destruction Derby series, it's made by that same team.
Oh, is it
and
really?
Destruction Derby was fantastic. The damage modeling on the cars in Driver is awesome. As you damage your car further, the engine will start to smoke different amounts, and that kind of gives you a visual indication of if your car's about to break down. But as far as the open world game goes, it's kind of shitty in a sense that the draw distances are barely past the hood of your car.
Yeah. Of course, everything it's a limitation of the time again, isn't it?
All of the cars in the distance are just colored squares, and as you get close to them, only then do they take on the textures of a car.
Good times.
I mean, it's so bad, and I don't think there's anything Tom could have said to salvage this game.
I think the best we got out of it was the Russian accents, to be honest.
Driver!
Driver!
Drive from here to there, and then you are done with the entire game.
Driver 10! Mario Driver!
We have a contest to evaluate here, Dan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
So, before we move on to that, I actually popped in Driver 3. Drive again. Drive once again behind the wheel. Because I'm like, surely this game had gotten better. Because this came out on Xbox. And by that point, GTA 3 had been out. It's like, okay, maybe they've improved. That game is just as bad as the first one.
Really?
And I talked to Tom about it, because apparently Tom is the Driver enthusiast. And he's like, yeah, that game's a broken pile of garbage. The aiming mechanics, for some reason, you cannot invert. You cannot deselect invert. So if you don't play inverted shooters...
Play, Eric. So,
what's that?
That is the right way to play.
It's the wrong way to play.
It's the right way.
It's wrong.
But it feels so right.
Well, a lot of things feel so right, but they're wrong.
But it feels saucy.
I mean, that's a quote directly from Jess's Stalker.
It feels so right. Wrong, but it feels so right.
That
car in action. I hope she never buys curtains.
Driver 3.
Yeah, say it right. Come on.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to make sure people know what I'm talking about. Driver 3.
Drive 3. Yeah, of course, the stupid Brandon in this one.
The voice acting's just as terrible. The animation's just as bad. You can get out of your car, get into any car you want, hijack. The first game, you could not run people over no matter how hard you tried. This game, you actually can if you try hard enough. They'll still jump out of the way, but you can hit them. However, the physics in this game are a broken mess. I played 2 missions before I gave up on it. The first one, I had to make it to the police station, and I was going about 4 miles an hour as I approached the police station, hit a garden planter, and ended up on the roof of the building.
Wow.
At 4 miles an hour. Like, well, this is kind of a
quite
mess.
an impressive YouTube videos nowadays.
Well, I couldn't be bothered.
I couldn't be arsed to do that shit. That requires effort.
I will say that the driving mechanics in the Driver games are pretty decent.
Yeah, they're all right.
Because I really enjoyed...
The River 1 was particularly decent.
I did enjoy that. It was fun driving around.
There's nothing to see, though.
Oh, literally nothing. Apparently there's different cities. I was kind of hoping to get to San Francisco because I was reading about the hills are really fun to just launch yourself off of, but I could not be bothered to make it that far.
No. Well, we talked about this last time when we were doing the Russian accents as well. Apparently it was made in Newcastle, near where I live, and they included a bonus level where you can actually drive around Newcastle.
Huh.
Which is, it'd be pretty cool to see, but I can't imagine it being particularly fun.
Yeah.
There's not many things set in Newcastle, apart from, bizarrely, the new Transformers film.
They filmed part of that here in Phoenix, too.
Really?
Yeah.
They
shut
filmed
down.
it at Alnwick Castle, which is near me, and Newcastle as well.
Oh, dear.
Which is bizarre.
Oh, dear.
Bunch of Geordies going around looking at Transformers.
You slag, you big robot slag. I'll cut you.
They probably would, Depends how drunk you are.
So we put out a contest a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, actually, to see. So on the last show, we came up with our own really stupid Driver games.
We did.
Very stupid. And threw a video together. We asked you to come up with your favorite Driver game. I believe we have 3 entries.
I think was there only 2?
Well, I think somebody, because this was right around the time that we switched over to having a group instead of a page.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that.
Go ahead. Well, I find this other.
Well, basically, we've always had a Facebook page for the podcast, but with there's certain limitations in a Facebook page. It's kind of, we can post things, but you guys can't, and we don't really like it as much. So we've made a new Factory Sealed Retro Gaming Podcast group on Facebook, which you can search for. It's by Factory Sealed Retro Gaming Podcast, and it'll come up. And we're trying to encourage you guys to talk to us more and post things about retro games. We like retro games. You like retro games. We all like that shit. So we hope most of our hardcore listeners have already jumped over, but if you are listening and you want to join, that would be great as well. So thank you very much.
It's a lovely thread where you can see pictures of like the Game Theory Admiral and shit like that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was. Or the Super Megason 4. Where's this other... So we posted it on... Okay, I'm almost there. Here we go. We have a total of 3 entries. And we have 2 copies to give away. Correct, Dan?
Do we?
Well, yeah, you're going to give one away, and I'm going to give one away.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Actually, did we get... Oh, we have one guy entered twice, so... We have 2 entries.
Well, I guess we know who's winning.
The clear winner, there is a clear first place winner, but there's no differentiation in prize between first and second place. We have 2 copies of Driver 3 to give away. Jack Grant just fully embodied what it is to be factory sealed stupid.
He knocked it out of the park. It's because he's been on the show before.
Yeah, and he's been... I mean, there's just so much going on in here. He made a PlayStation 1 game called Driver. One man's straddle is another man's driver. And he took pictures of us, which I think he got from our website, and photoshopped us very masterfully on various vehicles.
It's so good. I forgot how good it is.
I'd like to know what the backdrop is for this. Over some police car action explosion chase scene. But I'm on a dirt bike doing the pumping my muscles up thing. But from that picture, he had to Photoshop one of my arms, cut it off, and replace it on the other side. So I had 2.
It's very good.
Tom's on a crotch rocket, not even holding on, missing half of a leg.
I love that so much.
But perhaps the best is you. You're on this sidecar motorcycle with Jess. You're straddling the motorcycle, holding the gas tank, and Jess is like, "Oh shit, the bed," and she's the one holding onto the steering wheel driving.
It's so good. I don't know where that picture of Jess is from.
I don't know either, but
That's
man,
not on
like
the
just
site.
hands down the best.
Maybe
the
Jack is
best
Jess's
one.
stalker.
It would explain Jack in it.
Yeah. Wow. Mystery solved by Jack. Honestly, possibly the finest thing I've ever seen. I laughed so much at this.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, this if you want to see what it's like to embody factory sealed, look at this picture.
We'll probably Facebook tweet it out when we do the show this week.
This might just be the cover of the show.
I think it should be.
The river told me.
So good. Well done, Jack.
Second place, definitely, and this is a little bit before your time, but I laughed so hard when I saw this.
It's pretty good.
So I believe Santos has been with us for quite some time based on this reference. Some of you may remember one of the original hosts, Aaron Robison, and all of his wild adventures on his motorcycle that he could not keep upright. So he created Driver 1000 Aaron's Adventures, and it's just pictures of people crashing motorcycles. It's so funny.
With a random logo of Crash Team Racing in the bottom right.
And there's a naked guy riding a motorcycle.
They're literally squashed into the top right.
But the one on the bottom middle is my absolute favorite, because when Aaron was telling that story about him going around the corner and losing control of it and tipping over, it's just exactly what I picture it being like. It's like every week he came back with a new story of crashing his motorcycle. Both
of them are absolutely excellent. I'm surprised anybody even bothered. So
we do put up some pretty dumb contests.
It's you like them to make them as complicated as possible.
Well, when we're sending physical copies of something, it's got to be.
Well done, guys. You both win a copy of Driv 3.
So we'll contact you via the emails and get your addresses. You just have to promise not to stalk us with the return email address or the return mailing addresses. Oh, God. Yeah. I don't think I want to talk about Driver anymore.
No, shit.
Unless... when Jess comes back, we have to get her Russian accent.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know it's going to be so bad.
Really bad.
What was the... God, there was one accent she did a few weeks ago that just floored us because it was so bad.
Was she not trying to do posh? Was she trying to do me?
It was her posh accent that was really
months
bad.
Ago.
Months, weeks. They all just kind of blur together.
Yeah.
So, should we move on to the actual game that we're talking about this week? Because there's really zero substance to Driver.
I'm interested to see what other people's opinions are on Driver, though. I mean, did you play it as when you were younger? Are we just being too harsh? Was it good at the time, or?
Well, here's the thing. Let's look up aggregated review score. I think it's like 95.
It probably is. I mean, I feel like it's one of those games that would be praised for its innovations, you know? But
yeah, Metacritic, average, 87. IGN gave it a 9.7.
What?
9.7.
Wow.
And this game came out in 99.
Generous.
I kind of feel bad for hating it as much as I do because I liked Driver San Francisco. Did you play that one?
No, I've never honestly played any of them.
Driver San Francisco is actually pretty cool because it has a superpower element to it where you can, I believe, reverse. I don't remember. It's been 5 years since I played it.
Just like real San Francisco, then.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody that moves there is immediately granted superpowers.
I feel Driver would be, if it came back, it would kind of just be GTA.
With more driving.
There's little to differentiate between them.
Well, Driver 3 came out in 2004. When did GTA 3 come out? That came out in 2001. So they clearly had time to look at that and go, okay, let's copy that. And they did such a shit job of it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't play Driver 3. It's that bad.
Enjoy your free copies, guys.
I mean, it's awesome.
It's the best prize ever.
Hopefully you have the console that we're sending it for.
If not, tough.
It's basically a piece of show memorabilia.
Yeah.
I got this from Factory Seal. At least we can guarantee there will be a disc in there, unlike when Jess sends a game. There's just no disc.
I love that.
And the wrong instruction manual.
That's classic Jess, really, though, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, Driver 3 got a 5.4 and a 57% average. I mean, that's poop sandwich right there.
What was the last Driver?
San Francisco.
When did
Wasn't
that come
it?
out?
11. No. Driver Parallel Lines. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Wait. No. Driver Parallel Lines was 2006. Then there was, it's Driver San Francisco 2011.
All right.
And that game did okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Driver anyway.
You just don't like driving games.
I do like driving games. It depends on the game.
You don't. I have a message from you that says, I don't like driving games, so this is going to suck.
I don't like games where you just drive. I like driving games with a bit of substance.
You don't like driving games.
Well, is a game with a car in where you can drive it not still technically a driving game?
No, it's not. It's an action-adventure game. So Final Fantasy 15 is going to be a driving game.
Well, in part.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Mad Max is that a driving game?
It's that game, is what it is.
Is that a driving game, though?
Yes. You need to play that, Eric.
Well, I don't need to do anything.
You really do, though. You will love it.
You told me that I needed to play MediEvil.
You did.
Segway!
That was beautiful. You've segued into. You've announced your own segue.
I know. It's like, is that a faux pas?
A what?
A faux pas?
A what?
Faux pas?
I don't speak no French, sir.
Foie gras?
Oh, oui, oui. Anyway.
I was waiting for you to recover from that.
I can't. So yeah, this week's game is my recommendation, and it's MediEvil on the PS1.
Let me tell you what, this game is a roller coaster of emotion for me.
I can't believe how much you've been moaning about this game.
Well, it was offset with some mild praise.
Mild, but most of it negative.
Negatively mild?
Yeah.
Mildly negative? Positively negative?
So we break down the game before we launch into a tirade.
Well, there's no tirade involved. There'll probably be a tirade.
I imagine so.
Break it down for me, Daniel.
Break it down.
Mr. DJ Curtis, break it down.
DJ Curtis in the house.
DJ.
What?
Daniel Curtiscu.
Yes, MediEvil stars me, Sir Daniel Curtiscu.
Yes, I got you to say that instead of your stupid Forta Curtis.
Oh. Anyway, I'm dead. I've been long dead. I was killed in a battle. And I get resurrected to come back and save the town of Gallowmere from evil forces.
Sorcerer Zorak.
Sorcerer Zorak.
Which sounds like he should be from outer space. Sorcerer.
I'm a sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Oh, sorcerer, there is no new sneakers.
The sorcerer of sneakers. He's quite stupor.
Stupor, sorcerer, sneakers.
And it's time for supper. Supper is stupor.
Sorcerer, where can we follow you on the Twitter? Anyway,
yeah.
yes, MediEvil.
Yeah.
Spelt.
Not medieval.
Yeah, you spelt it wrong for like weeks until you finally realized.
It's not like the medieval ages.
It's MediEvil.
So the first half is correct. Last half is a play on words of evil.
You see what they did there?
I don't. Can you break it down?
Basically what they've done is they've turned medieval, the old time period, into a thing where it says medi, and then it has evil after it.
Uh-huh.
With like evil with fangs and shit.
Uh-huh.
So they've combined the two together to make a wonderful new word. So then it's not like the old thing, but it is better because it has that evil thing in it, and it's just pretty wonderful.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think this was too bad an American accent.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but they done it.
Are you capable of doing an American accent that's not old?
No.
What would be a good word to have you try?
Flange.
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 What is a flange? Is that like a fanny?
It's like a fanny, yes.
Like a British fanny.
A British fanny, yes.
A woman's front butt.
Show me your flange.
That sounds so gross.
Oh, that's a soggy flange right there.
Quite droopy.
Oh, that flange hangs like a sleeve of a wizard.
I think we already covered all of the disgusting ways to describe.
If you've got another way to describe a vagina, please let us know.
If you can beat open-faced roast beef sandwich.
Yeah, that was pretty special.
I feel like we just
MediEvil.
really opened ourselves up to terrible, terrible emails.
Shut up, MediEvil.
Spelled evil.
MediEvil.
Evil!
Evil sorcerer. Anywho, MediEvil is kind of... Is it isometric, kind of top-down-ish?
No, it is a 3D action adventure. 100%.
Yeah, but it's not like full. It's not like third person, is it? It's not like fully behind the camera.
Yes, it is. You can fully control the camera, Daniel. It is a 3D action adventure third-person game.
Okay, I'm wrong. I do apologize.
Yeah. Oh, guys, I'm going to isolate that clip where he says, I'm wrong.
Just so you can play it and make you feel better.
And it's just going to be an hour and a half show of Daniel going, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
I'm wrong.
I'm wrong.
I'm wrong. I will admit when I'm wrong. You won't.
No, that's not fun.
That's not the American way.
It's to just, it's more fun to just blindly stand behind something.
I know.
Continue with your explanation of this game.
It's quite hard to describe. It is a third-person action adventure, I guess, and you have a selection of different weapons, which you'll get as you progress.
I had no idea going into this exactly what it was. Obviously, MediEvil is a pretty well-known game from the day. Mm-hmm. I just never played it. I just had zero idea what it was going to be going into it. I thought it was going to be a little bit more like Mario 64 style, big open roaming world. Not even close to that. It's more Banjo-Kazooie without the central hub world.
Yeah, it's just interconnected levels. Well, not interconnected. You kind of go from one level to the next. Standard progression.
Mm-hmm.
There is some branching paths throughout, but basically you just kind of have to get through the level, get to the end. You have to unlock certain gates using these things called rune stones, which you'll get from enemy drops or from doing certain tasks.
Or they'll just be sitting somewhere.
Yeah, and you have to get the right one for the right rune stone slot, like there's different colours. And basically there's what the mechanic I really like about MediEvil is the chalice mechanic, where every level has a thing called a chalice in it. And as you attack enemies and kill them, their souls will travel to this chalice. You have to fill it up to 100% before you can collect it. You collect it, and then at the end of the level, you get transported to the Hall of Heroes, where Dan will be gifted with a new weapon or a life bottle or something else like that.
That is a pretty cool way to distribute new items, because it kind of encourages you to explore the level, because you really only get that chalice at 100% by killing almost all the enemies in the level.
Yeah, you need a good sizable chunk of the enemies to do so. But if you didn't do that, I think as you progressed, you would probably struggle a lot, because the better weapons are pretty much an essential as you go along.
Yes, you cannot just make it through with your basic sword. Your basic weapons that you have are your arm that he takes off and he can throw at people. You have your X attack, which is normal, and then you have your square attack, which you can either charge or certain items you can throw instead of charging.
I don't think there's a square attack for every weapon, though. I think like the bow and stuff doesn't have a square attack, does it?
The bone?
The bow.
I don't know.
I don't think it does.
Good question.
Thank you.
Good question. Let me take a note of it, and I shall get back to you never.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, that would be absolutely wonderful. You do, in limited times, actually need weapons like the hammer or club to access certain elements of the level. Like one of the early levels, there's a whole hidden area behind a boulder which you have to smash with a club. Or
you have a certain shield from Dan, and once you unlock the charge, then you can go back to earlier levels and bust through walls. So there is a little incentive to travel back to previous levels.
Yeah, it's few and far between, though. It's basically mainly linear progression from one level to the next.
I did enjoy how the map was laid out, because it's not just travel from here to here to here to here. It's you go from you beat one level, and then you branch off to the right, and then you'll get an item from there that will allow you to go back to that other level, unlock a different gate, and then branch back forward up. So there is incentive to be exploring different aspects of each world, but as I said before, this game was kind of a roller coaster of me loving it, followed very quickly by me hating it, back to like, yeah, I guess maybe it's not that bad. The first few levels, I was all on board. This is great. This is a ton of fun. Great enemy variety, really cool levels, a lot of fun weapons. I really liked the Hall of Heroes aspect of it, because if you didn't explore the level, it basically prevented you from just powering through the game. Because there are certain, like you mentioned, levels you could not get through without certain items like the hammer. And you can only get the hammer by collecting a chalice in a certain level and going back to the Hall of Heroes.
Yeah, and then, I mean, it does give you that incentive to explore, like you said, and it's really good.
But about halfway through, there's only 22 levels. So right around like level 12, 13-ish, it takes a sharp turn towards just garbage for a couple of reasons. One of them, there's a level called Inside the Asylum, and it turns into a game of Smash TV. And
if you don't know what Smash TV is, it's basically like a wave-based shooter from the SNES.
A twin-stick shooter.
Yeah. And without the twin sticks, of course.
So what bothered me about this, and I guess what kind of bothers me in a whole about this game, is the lack of being able to heal yourself. So hidden throughout the level, there are these green fountains that you can stand on, and they'll replenish your health. Once that's full, it'll start to recharge your life bottles. Each time you die, it uses a life bottle. And that death animation is quite long.
Yeah, especially when you fall off something.
Oh, yeah. It picks you up, drops you back down. Well, actually, there's a splash screen that comes up, then picks you up, drops you on the ground, then it refills your health, then it shows a picture of a life bottle, and then it stands you up. So it's probably a good 15-second respawn animation. Anyway, the frequency at which you find these fountains is very, very limited, and they're never at the beginning of a level. So if you beat one level with next to no health and save and then go into the next level, you're fucked.
Yeah, that is a stupid mechanic.
So I found myself constantly going back to the graveyard, the first level, because it was really easy to push through and get 2 fountains and fill yourself back up.
Yeah.
But when you got to the level called Inside the Asylum, at that point I only had 3 health bottles out of a total of 8. So you have your health bar and then 3 bottles. And I could never make it past like the 3rd or 4th wave of enemies.
Had you been collecting all the chalices, though?
Up to that point, yeah. But in the Hall of Heroes, you only get 1 additional life bottle. The rest are found throughout the levels.
All right.
So I had to go back through the levels and start digging for these life bottles. And even still, when I had 6, I had 6. It still took me 2 more tries to get through it.
Yeah, you were quite frustrated with this, but I didn't struggle.
No, but you'd played this before.
I suppose. I will give you that. But
it was just such a stark departure from what the game had been to up until that part.
I think they were just trying something different and it might not have worked too well.
No. And then the levels after that. So you can't really control him all that well. I was playing this on the PS Vita. And the way it's set up is that the joystick is run, like sprint, and the D-pad is just normal walk. And all of the levels after this become very intricate, precise platforming levels. And I talked to you about this before I started playing. And I'm like, it's only about 4.5 hours long because I looked it up. I'm like, well, there's going to be some very tricky platforming sections. And were you referring to the levels after this that require a lot of precision with where you're moving?
Yeah.
Because if you fall off, it's a full life bar gone.
I believe there's a button. I was playing it. There was a button which actually defaults him to walking when he's moving, like with the analog stick. And I was using that.
Huh.
And because that was an essential on, I think it's called Pools of the Ancient Dead, where you're basically on little rickety wooden platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go off either side, you're in the seat. And like a lot of third-person games from this era, it has a problem with camera. And you have control over the camera, but not like in the modern times where you can use the analog stick. You have to use the shoulder buttons. And it doesn't always work brilliantly. It will get stuck on objects and things like that.
Or it just won't let you turn.
Yeah.
For the longest time, the PS Vita maps R2 and L2 to the back touchscreen.
Right.
So for the longest time, I was playing it and the camera's just spinning. I'm like, this camera fucking sucks.
You were touching it.
I was touching it, so I had to go into the settings and just deactivate the rear touchscreen. I'm like, oh, this is better.
Yeah.
But that became very frustrating, especially when not Pools of the Ancient Dead. There's another one. Yeah, actually, I think it is Pools of the Ancient Dead, where you have to jump between land masses. Yeah. Impossible to do if you're trying to run at it. So I would walk up to the edge, press jump, and then use the joystick, because when you press the joystick while you're jumping, he moves at the rate in the air as if he were running. So I had to just do little hops and skips over that. It wasn't too bad once I figured it out. It just became an exercise in patience.
It's just getting used to it. I mean, it's not the most responsive from a platforming standpoint. You don't have a double jump or anything like that. No. It's just kind of, if you miss, you're dead.
But the enemy variety in this game is kind of the saving grace. There's a lot of really fun, very smart enemies that I enjoyed. And each one of them has a different sort of weakness or approach to how you attack them. Like the big metallic fat dudes in Pools of the Ancient Dead that you can only kill by charging your hammer and knocking them off.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I like that one.
Probably the most frustrating level inside the asylum was Scarecrow Fields.
Is that the one where you have to go in the corn and you die if you go in the corn?
Yeah, if you touch the corn, you die. And you have to navigate a few different corn mazes. Then you have to fight those gigantic metallic robots.
Yes.
I ran out of crossbow bolts, arrows. Actually, no, I didn't have the bow and arrow at this time. So crossbow bolts and throwing daggers. So I'm like, well, how the hell am I going to beat this? Come to find out. Yeah, I didn't know you could throw your arm at him, but your arm doesn't go very high. So I threw a bunch of chicken bones at him. Like, what the hell did the chicken bones do? Nothing. They just throw out a chicken drumstick.
Did you not find what the chicken drumsticks do?
I did not.
They turn people into life.
What?
Yeah.
How?
They work on standard enemies. They wouldn't work on that because it's a boss. But you chuck them at some zombies or stuff, they turn into health.
Well, that would have been fantastic to know.
The chicken drumsticks are very limited, though. You can't get much.
Where do you get them?
I think you unlock them as a weapon. I think you get them in the ant caves for doing the ant mission.
Oh god, that level sucks.
It was a bit. Did you find it a bit creepy?
It was, yeah, because things would just pop out of nowhere. But there was zero map.
No, it was basically what happens is you go to visit this witch and she kind of just shrinks you down and go inside an ant's nest. You have to rescue some of these really butch fairies from the ant's nest. And you have to go through the ant's nest and then they just come from the walls and stuff. And it's a bit freaky because they're big. And I find it a bit weird.
Well, you have to collect honeycombs.
Yes.
And... Well, no, not honeycombs, amber. You have to collect amber and then release those people. And I couldn't find the way out because I didn't want to go fight that boss. I was super low on health. And I don't think you can get back out of that. I think you have to progress forward and fight that boss.
I thought the boss was quite easy.
I don't remember which one it was.
It's the Ant Queen.
Oh, yeah. The only one that gave me any real trouble was the winged demons.
Oh, yeah, they were a bit of a pain.
It only took me 2 tries on that. I struggled more with the Inside the Asylum level than I did with any bosses.
Yeah, I really like the boss where it has, it's like it's made out of stained glass demon. And basically its heart comes out of its chest and then you have to fire a crossbow bolt.
The first major boss.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That one was really cool. It does come down to a little bit to resource management, though. Because you have a finite number of bolts and ranged weapons, and they cost money, and they're exceptionally expensive. I never found myself having more than 500 or 600 gold at any time.
Yeah, and you have to buy from gargoyles, which are throughout the levels, and you can restock your items. But the balance isn't quite right.
No.
You don't get enough gold to weapons and stuff.
The dragon is kind of a side boss that... Do you have to actually fight all of these bosses to beat the game, or can you skip them?
I don't think you do. I think some of them are optional.
Like, I think the dragon is an optional one.
Yeah. What do you unlock for beating the dragon?
Dragon armor.
Yes.
Oh, no, you do need that, because the next level you have to run through... Well, actually, no, I think that's another secondary side thing where you can put on this armor and run through fire.
No, I think you do need that at one point in the game.
But the dragon is really cool because no weapon injures him. He comes out of 5 different platforms, and you have to jump to a different platform, use the hammer to drop rocks, but it doesn't drop it on that same platform. So it's this puzzle figuring out where do I hit to get the rocks to come down.
Yeah, that was confusing.
I didn't die on him, though.
No, I don't think I did. How far did you actually get?
I made it to past the crystal caves, the one just after that.
Uh-huh.
I got to the level where you first met the marionettes that had like the large wooden spears stuck through them.
Oh yeah.
So I was pretty close to the end.
A little bit further than you. There's a level where you have to kind of scale a castle thing and then you blow it up. I think
it was a pleasantly surprising game. It definitely has its frustration points, but I'll give it to you. It's not a bad game.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, like any game from that era, it has its limitations, but I think you can still have fun with it. I mean, you've never played it before, you still quite liked it. I played it when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I think I still have my PS1 copy, so...
I think had I been actually playing it on the PS1, I bought it on the PlayStation Store for $6, and I think it was worth the purchase of $6.
Yeah.
But had I played it on the PS3 as opposed to playing it on my Vita, I may have enjoyed it a little more just to have that extra control.
I actually went and dabbled a bit with MediEvil 2 as well, which I've never played before.
How's that one?
It's basically the same, to be honest.
Really?
It's got a bit better graphics and some new weapons and stuff.
It's still a PS1 game, right?
It's still PS1, yeah. And basically, somebody's got hold of Zarok's spellbook and like kind of raises the dead again, and that brings Dan back to life again. He's in a museum nowadays. It's like laid out on a table, and then you kind of have to explore the museum. And what they've done with MediEvil 2, though, is they changed the chalice mechanic. It's still in place, but rather than going to the Hall of Heroes, you meet a professor afterwards, and he'll give you a new weapon if you get the chalice. So
That's interesting.
I thought that was quite interesting, and had a pretty cool boss. The first boss was like basically T-Rex bones, which kind of then after you beat the T-Rex transforms into a pterodactyl as well.
So it's got multi-form bosses.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool, and the levels are a bit more open.
Huh.
But I've never actually played before, and I don't know if I'll play through all of it. But
so they did MediEvil for PS1, then they did MediEvil 2. I think there was MediEvil Resurrection on the PSP.
Yes.
Is that where they've stopped?
The only other appearance Sedan has had since then, I believe, is in PS All-Stars Battle Royale, which was PlayStation's attempt at making Smash Brothers, basically.
I think I played MediEvil Resurrection. It looks familiar.
Really? There was recently rumoured shots of a PS4 reboot, but it's been proved to be fake. But it looks pretty sweet.
It'd be an interesting game to reboot. I don't know how well it would really hold up, though.
Well, I think if you did it better with like an open world hub element and like new upgrades to find and things, it might work quite well.
That'd get kind of frustrating, though, having to backtrack through the levels to get to just the way everything's laid out. I think it'd get a little frustrating.
Yeah, but if it was a brand new thing with new mechanics and stuff where it was kind of full open world kind of exploration.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think it might work quite well.
Yeah.
It's very in nowadays.
Yeah.
But overall, Eric, would you recommend people play MediEvil?
I'd say give it a shot. Don't get your hopes up too high for it, but give it a shot.
Woohoo! I recommended a decent game.
Woo! It's better than Driver.
The River.
The River is a hot pile of garbage.
Oh, MediEvil.
So this week, I finally decided to break the seal and start playing a game that's been in my backlog for years.
It's not Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, hell no. By break, it's a figurative break the seal. I didn't literally open a game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although I did buy a game 2 weeks ago, got it home, opened it, no disc in it.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah. So I took that back, got a copy. I got the Metro Redux on PS4, which is it's okay.
Yeah. Is that the one where you can wipe your gas mask and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. That's all I remember. That's all I've definitely played it, though.
Other stuff. It's okay. It makes me want to read the book. It's definitely an engaging story. But no, I started playing Trails in the Sky for PSP.
And you were like, immediately, Dan, you have to get this. It's amazing.
It's awesome. It's very deserved of all of the praise it gets. It's one of those fly under the radar style RPG games, but everybody who's played it is like, this is easily one of the best RPGs of the past decade.
Even better than Ni no Kuni.
Well, I'm still in the prologue, 5 hours into the game. Still in the prologue.
What is this, Dark Cloud?
Could be. It's just really engaging. There's a lot of really interesting characters. From the very beginning, you're immediately drawn into all of the characters within the game, and just the presentation is what really keeps it moving forward. The combat system, I'm still trying to figure out. It's unbelievably complex, which I like.
I like it to an extent, but if it gets really complicated, then it just frustrates me.
I would try to explain it, but I don't understand it enough to do it any justice right now. Okay. So I don't want to give just some muddled garbage explanation, and then someone who's played it is like, "Hey, guy's a moron."
Well, you are. But
well, yeah, but I like to at least.
I think we've just accepted that nowadays. It's common knowledge
to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But Tom and I have been talking back and forth about actually starting this game. So I finally decided to do it. The beauty of it, though, is... No, probably not. It'll just be something that I talk about randomly. Because it's like a 50, 60-hour game.
Wow. It's quite an investment.
Yeah. So it'll be something that I plug a bunch of time into over the next couple weeks because I'm heading out of town. Mm-hmm. So the beauty of the PlayStation Vita comes again.
Yeah, well, I bought myself a new game as well, which was Mad Max, like we mentioned earlier. And honestly, that is one of the best games I've played in a long time. It's so good.
I heard that was actually pretty good.
It's
but
got
it just didn't...
so much to it. It's like...
Wasn't there something that... some other major game that came out around the same time that kind of overshadowed it?
It might have been. But it's kind of... It's got a really expansive, really detailed open world. Like, it's all kind of in the desert because it's post-apocalyptic. But there's still so much to see and do. It's kind of... reminds me in many ways of The Witcher, where there's not just things for the sake of being things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you kind of want to go to each place to find things, even though if you're just collecting scrap, because you can use scrap to upgrade Max and his car as well. And doing so is just awesome because you get so much better upgrades. And I really like the world they've built, and it's got a lot of detail and stuff.
I think it came out the exact same day as Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh dear.
So that's why it got overshadowed.
Okay, and but it has basically the carbon copy of the Batman Arkham combat system, Eric.
So just press square.
Yeah. Occasionally triangle.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You actually kill people, so it's more fun.
Oh, that's perfect.
You can smash people's heads into walls and everything.
Can you just drive over them if you want to instead?
You can. Oh, you can attach harpoons to people and travel with them across the desert.
Sounds like my kind of game.
Then you get a thing called a Thunderpoon launcher, which launches explosive rockets at people.
Thunderpoon.
Thunderpoon.
Like
harpoon, but thunder.
Oh, I was thinking more along the interpretation of poontang, like flange. I mean, like, just shoots lightning bolts out.
I haven't seen that yet, but it's pretty good. And it looks really good as well. They put a lot of effort in it. It's developed by Avalanche, who made Just Cause.
They made it? Why did I not buy this then?
I have no idea. Honestly, you will love it. And it's really cheap right now, so it's well worth picking up.
I have so many games to play, Dan.
I do too, but I want a new one. I'm glad I did. I've put loads of hours into it so far, and I don't think I'm even halfway. So,
what did you pay for it?
Well, I got it on a gift card, so I'm not really sure.
Okay. When you took it to the register,
I can't
what was
remember.
the price?
It was about 2.5 weeks ago. I got it.
How do you not remember what you paid for games?
Because I've got another game at the same time, so I can't.
And what'd you get?
I got Deadpool as well.
The game?
Yes.
The game.
Uh-huh.
You bought Deadpool, the game.
I did. Why is that bad?
I'm losing respect for you as a gamer.
Why?
Is that game shit?
Have you played it?
Dan, it's Deadpool.
Deadpool's good?
The movie was okay. I cannot imagine the game was any good. Let's look this up here.
It's funny. Nolan North does Deadpool.
6 out of 10. Metacritic 60%.
That's fine by me. I got it for half price, so I'm not really bothered. It's a decent little game. So,
let me look at some pictures. I'm going to judge a book by its cover right here.
As usual.
I mean, this looks garbage.
I quite like it. It's not got the best gameplay, but it's funny.
I'm just not a Deadpool fan, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why then.
Yeah. The movie was okay.
I thought the movie was great. Just because you've seen too many Deadpool cosplayers and you're like, oh, Deadpool again.
Oh, they're the worst. If you cosplay Deadpool, you're the worst.
Yeah, just slag off people who listen, Eric. That's right.
Be the one that changes my mind. I mean, if people who cosplay Deadpool just kind of use it as an excuse to be an asshole. Asshole.
You should do it then.
Hi, I'm Deadpool. Is it okay if I say something that's mildly inappropriate?
Yes.
Okay.
Flange.
Thunderpoon.
Thunderpoon! Gonna get me some of that Thunderpoon tanks!
That's a big bitch. Dan.
Yes. Anyway.
We have a bunch of emails.
Do we?
Yeah. It's kind of an abbreviated show this week.
It is.
But if you want to send us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com or podcast@factory-sealed.com.
Just to be confusing.
I don't think anybody's ever sent one to that email.
Because you say it second, and it's more confusing.
Shut up.
They're probably sending it to a factory sealed without the dash.
Well, I don't want to pay $2,000 for a URL.
Why are you rich?
Well, it doesn't mean I want to spend the money.
Clearly.
First email comes from Turkdriver. It's actually Truckdriver.
Truckdriver.
TRKDRVR. Truckdriver.
Hi, Truckdriver.
He says, hey guys, holy shit, where do I start? The game aspect of the show, entertaining and informative as usual. The 30 minutes of BS prior to discussing the game, hilarious. This is what I come back for every week. The pig in a blanket thing, pull up google.co.uk, their search page overseas, and type it in. You'll get sausage wrapped in bacon. We hillbilly folk over here in America know it as sausage wrapped in a crescent roll. Either way, my fat ass enjoys them both. Dan, Asda sells Pillsbury biscuits in a can. Add some jam and cream, and you've got yourself a rip-roaring breakfast. Anyway, keep up the laughs. Joe C.
Thank you, Joe. I will have a look for that.
I think you need to go to Asda and get Pillsbury biscuits in a can and record yourself opening them. Well, have you ever looked for them?
No, but where would they be? Would they be in the biscuit aisle?
Well, no, they're refrigerated.
What?
Yes!
What are you doing?
What do you mean, what are we doing? We're keeping our food from spoiling.
Biscuits in the fridge.
It's dough.
What about the pantry?
No, they will spoil. They're meant to be kept refrigerated because it's dough. It is raw dough in a pressurized can that you then cook.
I'm going to have to look for this.
Have I not shown you the picture of them just spilling out?
You have showed me.
Well, then go look for it.
I will, but I won't be going to Asda anytime soon.
Why? I hear
there's
you.
Not one nearby.
It's your people.
There's not one nearby.
How is there not an Asda anywhere nearby?
Well, it's about 40 minutes away, but I can't be asked to.
It's not bad.
I'm not just going to go to Asda just for Pillsbury biscuits.
Maybe I'll mail you some.
Thank you.
They'll be spoiled by the time you get there.
Oh, God damn it.
Here, this is what the aisle would look like. I just sent you a picture. It's usually by like the butter, maybe the yogurt.
Yogurt.
What do you call it?
Yogurt.
Yogurt?
Yogurt. Johan,
Yogurt?
fetch me my yogurt.
Johan's yogurt.
Johan,
Yo gonna love it.
You're gonna have some goddamn yogurt.
Johan's yogurt. That's a good one. I like that.
Yogurt.
Yogurt. Yugut. Yogurt.
Yogurt.
Did you look at that picture
Yeah,
so you know what to look for? This is from a Walmart.
I've never seen that in an Asda before, so.
Yeah, well, you're just shit.
Well, thank you. I clearly own Asda.
Yeah. Jack Grant writes in, hey, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed my concept for a new driver game.
We did.
I'll get straight to the question. Which games had such an impact on you that you go back and play it every year? For me, it has to be Metal Gear Solid 3. And there's also Mount and Blade Warband, which I am constantly playing. Keep up the great entertainment. I actually just saw Mount and Blade and was wondering what the hell that was.
I have no idea. What is it?
Looks fantastic. It's a stand... Oh, I mean, it's part of Mountain Blade. What the fuck is Warband? Or what's Mountain Blade?
I don't know.
I have to do some looking.
Use your
There's horses. There's horses.
Oh, can you shoot them?
I don't know. Oh, you can shoot the horses in Battlefield 1.
Hooray! You'll have to buy it then.
This guy's stabbing his horse with a spear.
That'll do.
It looks like a chivalry-style game. Mountain... It actually looks pretty sweet.
What's it for?
Well, Mountain Blade is a series. Warband looks like it's an expansion pack for PC.
All right.
So you'll never play it.
Nope.
Game that we constantly go back to and play every year. Well, for me, it had definitely been Dark Cloud 2, but...
It's because you never finish it.
Well, and we'll talk about this. We're going to do our Dark Cloud show this week.
Are we?
Well, yeah, we have to. Yeah.
Okay.
You and I, you and me and you, us together again at last. Trading vocal
Nonsense.
tones with one another.
Shite?
Yeah, I mean, it's shit.
Yeah.
It's just verbal shit. Yeah, Dark Cloud 2, it was for me, but giving a little bit away of what I want to talk about this week on that show is I don't think I'll play it anymore.
Oh.
Because I'm done with it. And that was kind of the reason that I never actually finished it, was because I liked it so much. I was afraid that if I beat it, I'd never go back and play it again.
But you had such a good time beating it, so you'll always have that memory.
I know.
It's a sad time, Eric, I know. But nowadays, I don't generally go back to things as much because now I'm an adult. I can actually afford to buy new games.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, but I don't play it every year.
Well, I think there's a little leeway in his question.
I do go
Let's
back and play it
interpret it.
every couple of years.
No.
I give myself time to forget everything. I don't like to remember everything that happens. And
I'm kind of that same way with Final Fantasy VIII. I'll probably play through that once every 2 years.
I have those 3 Final Fantasy, and I will pick one to play through again. And Final Fantasy IX I always have a lot of fun with as well because I get so addicted to the Chocobo side quest. It's like ludicrous.
Here's the thing, though, that a lot of people, if you're younger and listening to us, as you enjoy all the free time you have now to play games.
Yeah.
Because as you get older, that slowly disappears. I still play a lot of games. Thankfully, I have a very understanding wife. But it's more, I just make time for it. As you get older, you develop more interests in other things and you have other responsibilities. And there's still just 24 hours in a day. So now you have more shit to do in the same amount of time.
I still get a good, decent amount of game time a week, I think, though.
Oh, yeah. Every time. I mean, the kids are always in bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock. And after that, it's game time. And fortunately, my job is flexible enough where I don't have to be up at any specific time. So if I want to stay up till midnight playing a game. I mean, yeah, I can just sleep all day. I'm usually up by 6:30, though. So it's just sacrificing sleep to get more games in.
I do. Is there any others I'd really go back to a lot? I mean, I like to have kind of a route through my old box of PS1 games every so often and dabbled with them.
All of my PS1 games that I have are really lengthy RPGs.
Yeah, can imagine.
And I try not to.
I have all the old Tomb Raiders apart from the first one, the Final Fantasies, MediEvil. I have some other stuff like Croc.
I really want to go
Legend
back.
of the Gobbos.
I want to go back and play through Final Fantasy Tactics, but
Yeah.
my God, I don't have the time.
No. You got to clear your calendar for Final Fantasy 15, my friend.
Oh yeah, I hear that's gonna be a great driving game.
It is.
Can't wait to see the mechanics. Brian writes in, subject line, boob juggling and shareware.
Interesting.
He says, hey, Factory Seal crew, hypothetical situation. This is going to be good. Oh, dear. Sony is willing to give you $10,000, the new PS4 Pro, and a PlayStation VR. All you have to do is be the awkward person on stage at a Sony conference demonstrating every single feature of the VR Dead or Alive beach volleyball game for 30 minutes in front of a live audience made up of mostly journalists, coworkers, neighbors, and family members, while being live streamed to over 200,000 viewers on Twitch. An extra 10 grand bonus can be awarded for enthusiasm. Would you do it?
Yep.
What would you do to earn the bonus enthusiasm money?
I'd take my clothes off.
I think this question stems from the video that spawned, or the video that was released a few weeks ago where they were showing this off and people were like laying on the floor looking up skirts and things like that. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's just basically a perv simulator, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I would 100% do this.
Me too.
As long as there's actually some volleyball involved, because that's how I would get into the enthusiasm aspect of it. I'd come out in my mankini and I would start doing like super high pitched screams and jumps and like squats and some of those really sexy poses that the girls in the game do.
Oh,
I mean, surely that'd be worth. You're dreaming about me in a mankini?
Always.
I mean, surely that'd be worth an extra 10 grand.
I'd pay 20 for that.
What if we were on there together?
Oh, God.
I could be in the mankini because if it were multiplayer, you could be the one looking at me, but in your headset, I'd be an attractive Italian guy all greased up.
No, we're going down a dark path again. Let's not do it.
I see how far I could get before you stopped it. Just glistening. I've just had
this guy is happily married.
A fresh golden rub.
The game is a bit creepy, though.
Yeah, I mean, I played the Dead or Alive beach volleyball.
One of the big sellers of VR is going to be porn. It's always going to happen. In a game series like Dead or Alive, which is developed in Japan have an entirely different look at sexual culture than we do in the West. So what is offensive to us over here is not offensive in Japan.
Yeah, but everything over there has to be censored.
But it's so strange. It's so out there and crazy, but then they censor things.
You can't see that penis, but you know what's happening behind them pixels.
You will not see this shit going in the mouth, but you will still...
Oh my God. Go have sex with that pillow.
Only if it's Tifa.
He signs his email, sincerely, Virtual Motorboat. P.S. Did anyone play any of the old Apogee games on PC? I remember getting a CD with about 40 shareware games, most of them from Apogee. I remember games like Biomenace, Monster Bash, Blakestone, Raptor, etc. fondly for letting me play games through the late 90s when my family was less well off than they are now. P.P.S. Dan.
Oh, God.
My girlfriend's English is progressing well. This is the dude with the girlfriend.
It is. Hello.
Oh, though I think it's mostly due to her English class rather than listening to this silliness every week. For some reason, she can understand you easier when you do your old man voice.
Hi, Brian's girlfriend.
Oh, man, I'm glad to get an update. Keep us up to date how she's progressing.
We actually mentioned her earlier, so that's odd.
Yeah. Next email comes from Mark Marcheski. LOFS crew, the plane of the great driver with top-notch accents. It takes me back to a high school buddy of mine who spitballed with me about wishing there was a quality game like Driver where a second player could fire out of the car. Some year later, an Xbox game I played, which wasn't good, was like that, and I would say Saints Row multiplayer or GTA Online became that. So to Driver 3 this question into a question, this is hard to read. Is there game types you recall talking or thinking about wishing it existed, then saw it come to be?
Well, I was hoping No Man's Sky would be kind of basically what I wanted Mass Effect to be, where you could explore the universe, and it had a lot to it, but it wasn't. So I was disappointed.
I always remember talking with my uncle about wanting to create a game called Body Quest.
Right.
And
says with trepidation.
It had virtual reality headsets, and you could stare at other... No. It was a game about senseless killing to amass bodies. Just traveling the world, murdering, and instead of getting score, your score was the amount of bodies you collected. We hadn't thought anything else out other than that.
No, are you sure you're not that serial killer from Arizona?
Pretty sure.
Well, Eric, I actually, when I was younger, I was hoping there would be a game that would start off kind of like a murder mystery, and then halfway through, it would turn into a post-apocalyptic thing where you could have Matrix fights. And then Fahrenheit came out, and my dreams were realized.
Okay. But Fahrenheit was shit.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, are you?
So terrible.
Yeah. So when a game came out called Body Harvest on the N64, I was very excited. Like, it's close enough in the title. Maybe they read my prepubescent mind and developed a game. But I don't think that was it.
You know what? I think, when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, I kind of wondered what it would be like if it had multiple cities. And then San Andreas came out. And
GTA 3 kind of had multiple cities.
Well, no, it didn't.
Multiple sections of a city.
That doesn't count.
Which could be classified as multiple cities.
But San Andreas did have multiple cities. And me and my friends would always say, like, wouldn't it be cool if GTA was like an entire country or something?
Oh yeah, it'd be insane.
I mean, it's
Online,
logistically practically impossible, but
oh yeah,
it would be awesome.
Well, and that kind of comes back to the whole No Man's Sky thing. Is I think too much of something is a bad thing. Too much freedom is a bad thing.
Yeah, I prefer an open world where it's got a lot in it.
Like The Witcher.
Yeah, which I finished finally.
Ooh, now you've just got like 60 hours of DLC.
Yeah. I can't.
Mark has a PS to his. PS. To that first video game wank character question a bit back.
God.
I surely don't know, but I recall being accused by my sister's boyfriend of it when he saw me playing Final Fantasy VIII and summoning Shiva. Him hearing me frantically tapping the boost button and looking to see an icy sculpted female body on screen gave him that theory.
What a nice guy.
Well, I mean, it looks like it because you have to hold select and then pound square. So from behind,
I suppose.
I'd be concerned though if that's the sound it made. Like you might want to get that looked at.
You know what, Eric? When I remember this from Final Fantasy, I used to use the boost all the time on it, and I actually I must have had a dry thumb or something, but the select button was ingrained into my thumb for a good few days, and I always remember it.
A dry thumb.
Yeah.
God. Last email comes from Matt Hallmark. I just listened to your Dark Cloud 2 episode and heard the emails. I don't know where to stand on the hot dog thing because a submarine sandwich can be a sandwich, or if you go to Subway, they don't cut the bread all the way through. The innards are cradled in there. So is your definition of a sandwich sound? As for dressing, mayo and Dijon mustard on the bun, then the hot dog goes in and you put ketchup on top. Pies on holidays, cakes on birthdays, and cake any other time because cake is better. Also, sit. Later, Maddie Hallmark.
So much to absorb there. I can't even remember what we talked about with sandwiches.
I think we said it has to be between two pieces of bread. A hot dog can't be a sandwich because it's cradled in there.
I'm afraid you're not going to change my mind, Matt. Still the same.
Well, look at Subway. It's one of the largest sandwich shop chains in the world. I don't care. It is Subway sandwiches. The people who work there are sandwich artists.
That's just ridiculous.
They create works of sandwich art.
No, they don't.
That you then digest and turn into works of poop art.
They make sandwiches which are far too expensive for what they are.
You're so cheap.
I'm not cheap. You can get a decent sarnie for less than that.
A decent what?
Sarnie.
Sarnie.
Sarnie. Sarnie.
Oh, sarnie.
Yes.
Sarnie. What the hell's a sarnie?
It's a slang word for a sandwich.
Does it have crayons on it?
It does, yes. It's ideal for when you've caught Crag's Vag.
You guys call sandwiches sarnies.
I do. Up in the northeast we do anyway.
Might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And
I hear a lot of stupid things. Oh yeah, way dumber than Vag.
Dumber than Crag?
There's no R in sandwich.
Does it matter?
There's no...
There's no Dick in Richard.
I mean, it depends on Richard's preferences.
Touche.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a good example until you ruined it.
Never. Sarnie.
Yeah.
It sounds like a piece of Middle Eastern clothing.
I'm going to wear my sarnie this week.
Or a disease.
You got the sarnies.
Yeah. Caught a bad case of the sarnies from that girl I picked up last night.
Where's Tom when I need him?
I think Tom would back me on this.
He
That's
would
a
not.
dumb name.
You would not. I'm going to introduce you to peace pudding when you come here.
Pea pudding?
Peace pudding. It's like peace, but with an S.
That looks like shit.
It's basically northeastern delicacy made from chickpeas, which is used as a sandwich filling.
So it's like hummus.
No.
Dan, this looks like it has a spider web on top of it.
Probably does.
Look at this. This looks like it has a moldy spider web and a dead cockroach in the center. That's a delicacy?
What is that?
That's what I got when I typed in peace pudding.
That's not even close.
Well, all of the pictures look like that form of diarrhea.
That's not what it looks like.
Well, then you're making it wrong. Google can't all be wrong.
It's like a sandwich spread.
Okay, well, clearly not. Pease.
Hang on.
Like peas with an E.
There you go. That's it. You basically have it with meat in a sandwich.
Yeah, that's hummus.
It's not hummus.
Why would you call it pudding if you spread it on a sandwich? That's not pudding.
I don't
Where does
know.
the
I didn't
stupidity
invent
end?
the shit. It's really nice, though.
I mean, it does look kind of good.
I mean, you don't get it anywhere apart from here in the Northeast.
Send me a recipe.
I don't know the recipe. I buy it in a tub.
Send me a picture of the tub. I'll figure it out. Send me a list of the ingredients. Back to
but it literally keeps for about 4 days.
Back to the sandwich debate, though. He's got a point about submarine sandwiches.
The hell's
Because they don't cut it up. A sub sandwich, a sub.
All right, okay.
A sarnie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sarnie.
Subway sarnies.
Sarnies. I like sarnies.
It changed how I look at sandwiches then.
I don't really care. I just eat them.
Also, for hot dogs, when you have children, put all of the toppings under the hot dog to eliminate much of the mess.
I can imagine that's a good idea.
Yeah. That's it for emails. If you want to send us an email, factorysealedmantank.com.
Good lot of emails this week. Like it.
Well, it's 3 weeks worth.
I know.
Make sure to check out our new Facebook group. Lots more stupidity coming from more people now.
Yes.
We're trying to gather, we're trying to give you a place to just offload your stupidity.
And that is the Facebook group.
Yes.
Which again you can get to by search for Factory Sealed Retro Gaming Podcast on the Facebook.
On the Facebook. Yeah. It'll be, there's a page and a group, so don't get confused.
And if you want to follow us on Twitter, it is Factory_Sealed. We are a few away from 600 followers, so please join. I had 100 when I started being social media manager, so thank you very much.
I mean, it's an honorary title. It's not
Yeah, I know, but I'm proving good at it, so fuck off.
What? I mean, that's fast.
Yes.
Daniel.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Just positively. My God, I didn't know Tom was here.
Hi, everybody. It's Tom.
He just sat quietly the whole show waiting for that one spot.
Yeah.
Where can we find you on the Twitter?
On the Twitter, you can find me at Frosted Sloth.
You can find me at Honest Pizza. I think that's going to do it for this week. We need to reevaluate what we're playing for next week because I am out of town for 2 weeks.
Oh, well,
so we have to play something.
If you're not doing a show next weekend, that means we have 2 weeks to play through Vice City.
Well, I won't be back on the 9th either. But I'll take my stuff with and record there, but we just have to play something not requiring a console.
It's very limiting, Eric. Can I get Vice City via Vita?
No.
Let's play Vice City Stories. It's close enough.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I know it isn't.
But we'll figure it out. There will be a Dark Cloud 2 show that we record this week. We got to make up for these 3 weeks we missed, or 2 weeks we missed.
Yes.
We owe people content.
God, dude.
The masses are rioting.
People are getting too clever.
Yeah.
We must bring them down once again.
Yeah, cut out some of them brain cells.
We are contracted by the government to make sure people don't get too clever.
No, quite.
Yes.
That's going to do it for this week, Dan.
Is it?
It is. So, with that being said, folks, we will see you all next week.
Daddy bye.
What?